This film was made in March the 7th, 1908 in my basement. The trains on the track here are all American Flyer. They start from back in the 1940s right on up to the 1960s. Now to give you a little idea about how these trains come about way back in the 30s and 40s, this is a line of engines that I've gotten over the period of years, and I'll show you one by one from the cheapest one until the most one that was the highest price. Back in the days whenever I first bought these, I bought one engine and two cars for Gene and Bill in about 1944. And we'll start with the cheapest one and then go right on up to the most expensive one. Now this is the cheapest car, engine and coal car that they put out that I know of to begin with. Then we go up to the next engine and see it only has two drive wheels. And the next one actually has three drive wheels. But now, when you get to the next two engines, on the driver's side, on the drive wheels and all, you've got a different setup, and each one of these engines mostly was built by different companies when they built the original steam engines, and they're designed a little bit different. Now this engine is a type of engine that we bought in 1944 for Gene and Bill, and you'll notice that it's a different setup. This right here is a different setup and all, and it's a more expensive engine. And then we go to the highest priced engine. Is actually a bigger engine, but it's got practically the same setup, but it's a different engine made by a different company. And you'll notice too, the higher the price, the coal car was different, and it was bigger and longer. This will give you a kind of idea of what they had on the market back at that time. And as they come along over the period of years, I think in about the 60s, these engines are made with, made with cast iron. And the later ones, as the competition got more worse with the other train companies that were building these, they used just plastic for the bodies. When we first bought these trains, they only had two cars, which you'll see behind these engines. That is actually the two cars that come with Gene and Bill's train. They only come with two cars and the engine, and the track only had two circles on each end, which would be 6 pieces of track to make a circle, but they'd have 2 pieces of straight track, and would make the circle a little longer. And that's what we actually come with the train. And with that, we only had, I'll move right down here, and this is a transformer that come with it. Now, while I was trying to put these engines together, take about 3 of them and take parts off in each one to make one, I finally had to make me a workbench and buy tools. In fact, I got a lot of tools from the outfit that I bought in Atlanta. That gentleman seemed to have been possibly had a system where he actually worked on these trains, and I got some of his stuff. So that's where I got my. It all takes miniature tools, and I spent a lot of time here back in the 60s and 70s. Then I got where that I had a lot of things outdoors that I like to do. When I bought 2 commercial lawnmowers, and I've been mowing grass ever since, for here at the shop and at home, and at South Mountain with a church retreat. Now, since I'm down here in the basement and working by myself, I'm going to go over here and sit down in the chair where I work, and let you kind of see what an old man looks like now after about 30 years of working with this. I've got all kind of parts. But everything you can think of, it's come off these trains, and where some of it I just have discarded it, where it actually I have no use for anymore. But this is the way that I finally actually come about working on these trains. Hundreds of little parts. I said, when I come over here to sit down, I said, worked on this for about 30 years. I got to thinking about it, and it's more like 48 years that I've been doing this. At times, I would work on them until I finally kind of got disinterested at times, and then after I rest a while, I'd come back and do some more. But this transformer here I use to when I'm working on engines and all, to give me power to test the engines. And this drill press always come in handy. I didn't use drills like this. I used miniature drills. And when I would be soldering different parts, I had a little rig here that would hold some of the parts where I could solder them. It's something that I think that was really helped me over the period of time, is occupying my mind, rebuilding these engines. And now I've got this big layout with 19 switches. And at times, I'll get away from it. I have to come back and study it and practice again to actually run this. And at times, if I run it enough, I can remember all 19 switches. And of course now at times I wreck the trains when I pull the wrong switch, that kind of thing. But it's been real interesting over the last 48 years of doing this. And a lot of the things that the engines and the train stuff that I have bought, I have actually caused the price or how valuable it is to decrease, because when I took different engines and switched parts and all, well, I took it away from actual original. Well, now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and run the trains a little bit.